Welcome to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters, where we guide the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. Join us around the campfire as we share stories of faith, courage, and adventure. Hi, folks. Welcome to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters. I'm excited to come to you from Wichita Falls, Texas. We got an exciting episode for you today. We're here in Wichita Falls, Texas, because our Wichita Falls chapter and our new state director for Cross Trail Outfitters, Casey Allen, has begun an amazing thing here in Wichita Falls about 4 years ago, and he's got his fourth annual CTO banquet this weekend, and he's got 600 plus guys coming. So we're super excited about what's happening here. I mean, it's going to be an amazing night. So we're trying to kind of just take a few moments. We thought you guys would love to kind of hear some stories about what God is doing in CTO Texas, not just now, but what he's done in the past. So today we've got Caden and Caden. I know it may be confusing, but these boys have been in CTO for a while, and we're gonna let them kind of tell their story about how CTO kind of helped change their life and how it shaped them when they got involved, and be thinking, guys, kind of about your favorite CTO story. That could be anything, hunt, campfire time, God time, whatever it is when it comes to that. So excited to bring this to you guys here today, and stay tuned. We know we've got our new state director, Casey Allen. He'll be on here too later. That'll be probably a whole separate episode of what God is doing all across this amazing state of Texas. And yeah, this Missouri boy is burning up in Texas because it's cold where I'm at, but back here, it's hot. I've been sweating ever since I got here. So is that a normal thing for you guys here?
Yeah, I mean, the humidity's pretty bad, but...
Wait a minute, you guys call this humidity bad?
No.
Well, I'm gonna say, because
it gets worse during the summer.
I was gonna say, I've been here in the summertime, and it's a major problem for me.
No, it's bad.
This Missouri boy does have humidity, but here it's a whole new animal. I have realized that when I've been here with summer camps. So, well, let's start here. Either one can go, since you got the mic, Caden and Caden. Tell us how long you've been in CTO, how long you've been in it, and just kind of what it means to you, and kind of how that has shaped you into the young man that you are today.
Yes, sir. So I've been in CTO. First, my name is Caden, and I'm from Conroe, Texas, and I've been in CTO for about 5 years now. And the very first time that I'd ever went on a CTO outing was actually Mr. Casey's first time on his CTO outing. And that was back in 2021 at the Plomero Ranch Ultimate Summer Camp.
Yeah.
And after that one summer camp, I mean, I had to immediately, on the way home, we didn't even get off the property yet. I told my mom that, like, we gotta figure out how I can get back on some more stuff. I mean, it was awesome. There were so many more first experiences for me. That was the first time I'd ever got to harvest an animal, and
that was your first.
That was my very first
big
time.
Game animal.
My very first big game animal.
And what was that?
It was a javelina.
Javelina.
The very first big game animal was a javelina, and I mean, the experience that I got to have was incredible.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. But
is there any videos of that experience, or is any
there's definitely some videos, thanks to Mr. Casey, of me sleeping before.
Sleeping
before the pig had showed up, and then, I mean, there's if you've been around Mr. Casey, there's videos of everything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's recording when you don't even think. Yeah. It's funny, but
sounds like my wife. Who's right over there? You all can't see, but
yeah, but it's just. I mean, I can't express my gratitude for not only Mr. Casey, but for CTO in general. I mean, it's completely changed me and helped me find the Lord and help me on this walk, because I mean, honestly, before CTO, like, I'd been baptized as a baby, but I'd never thought about getting rebaptized, never thought about diving into the Word.
Wow.
And I mean, really, Mr. Casey, like, I talk about him so much, but it's because of how much he's really changed my life, honestly. And I think that had my mom not signed me up last minute, put me on that wait list for the summer camp, I don't think I would be anywhere near where I am today.
Wow.
That's the honest truth.
That's testimony in itself of your mom being obedient. And a lot of people, something to always think about, because we do have waiting lists for our camps and our outings. And a lot of times people say, oh my goodness, it's on a waiting list, so I just won't even sign up. Always sign up, always put your name on there, because people cancel, never know. And we always say God will always ordain who's supposed to be there for that outing or for that summer camp for such a time as that. And even if you're number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on a waiting list, sign up, register, and we'll get you on an outing. We'll get you in camp. Maybe even not that one, but maybe the next one. One way or the other, we're going to do our best not to leave you hanging, and that sounds like what Mr. Casey did.
No, definitely. I mean, it's awesome, but I mean,
well, tell me what your most like when you think of a story. Obviously, you killed your first big game animal. Probably have done a few more since then, other types of stuff, deer and things of that nature.
Yes, sir.
What would be probably your most favorite experience you've had in CTO?
I would say my most favorite experience that I've had in CTO is definitely the Apprentice Guide Camp that I went on last year with Caden as well. And we were fortunate enough to pond hop on a guy's property, and that was the first time I had ever shot geese. It was the first time I'd ever harvested geese. And I just remember we were all sitting up on the tank dam shooting geese out the air, and it was Casey, me, and Caden. And we're looking, and Mr. Casey screams across, and there's this 40-pound geese flying in the air straight for Caden, and he didn't even see it. Hit right next to him. It was right. I mean, landed right next to him. I think about that all the time. That's definitely got to be the most funniest moment that I've ever had in CTO.
That sounds like an awesome moment. Luckily, it didn't take out your buddy Caden here.
It was pretty close.
No, it was pretty close.
That's awesome. That's an awesome experience. We call those CTO moments, to where you harvest your first javelina, you shoot maybe in your first goose, you shoot your first duck, waterfowl, rabbit, squirrels, every little thing that we do all across the country, and it's always fun to see the expression on that young man's face. And we talk all the time about the hunting and the fishing, and like you just talked about some amazing moments, right? But we all know that once that moment happens, the real transformation happens around that campfire, around that time where you're visiting and talking in that blind, and the conversations where Mr. Casey and other outfitters and volunteer guides and apprentice guides just growing together, and that brotherhood that you have, that's really where the transformation happens. But that moment that you have that hunting experience or that fishing experience, that's what brings us together. But then you find out later it's much more deeper than that, don't you?
Yes, sir. I think I've been very fortunate enough to get paired up with Mr. Casey anytime that me and him are on a hunt, and just the conversations that we've had in deer blind, I would have never had a conversation like that with my mother.
No,
like it's man-to-man talk that we get on a real level, and we talk.
That's good. And Caden, tell me how old you are?
I'm 17 years old.
17. All right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, and you've been in, you said 4 years, basically?
Oh, about 5,
5
almost
years.
4.
Okay. All right.
But I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't harp on it enough. I'll sit here all day talking about it. I mean, seriously.
That's good. I love that. That's that passion you have in that. That's great. All right. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Well, this Caden, Caden, remind me how old you are?
18.
18. Yeah.
Yes,
I always want to make you like 24, believe it or not. Is he that mature? Behind it? Oh, you see the look right there?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Maybe my perception is a little off about this Caden,
No.
but no, he really is. And I've gotten to get to know this Caden quite a bit at camps and things, and just from what the other guys have said, he's been a phenomenal man. So
Yes, sir.
tell us, Caden, what CTO means to you, and kind of when you got in and started, and kind of tell us the same story, and tell us your favorite moment in CTO as well.
Yes, sir. So I started in CTO when I was around 11. I think I was 11 years old. And before that, from about me being 8 to 11, I had always been drawn to hunting and things like that, but I didn't have the opportunities to. So the only opportunities was when I was about 8 or 9, and my uncle took me for the first time, and I shot my first deer, and like after that, I was like, oh my gosh, and I was hooked. And but it was very hard for my mom because I wanted to do it so bad, but we didn't have the opportunities to. So it was very hard because she saw me constantly trying to find anything and everything I could do to almost get that experience again, but we just didn't have anything. And she said one day she was scrolling on Facebook and one of y'all's ads popped up, and it was in April. And that summer was y'all were having summer camps down in George West. And she said, you know, we don't have the money to pay for the summer camp, but you can sell raffle tickets. And I talked to the people, and I got my tickets, and they were like, you know, you're a little late, but, you know, we think that you'll still be able to do it.
Yeah.
And so I got my tickets, and, man, I hustled. I wanted to go. And so
door to door
Oh,
type
yeah.
thing,
I was
huh?
walking all down the neighborhood,
You're
and
getting
people.
that skin in the game. That's good.
People at church. And so you know, I made my way, and I found a way to be able to go, and I went on that first summer camp. And that first summer camp was, like, I remember that, and then I remember, like he said, I got in the car with my mom when she picked me up, and I told her, like, I was 11 at the time, and I told her, like, I want to be a part of this for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And so from then on, I knew I was supposed to be a part of this. And I've just had some, you know, amazing experiences and people in my life. It's kind of hard. Oh, man.
That's good. No, it's all right. We're good.
But I know I wouldn't be where I am today without it. And I may not even be here without it. But, like, it's the people, it's the mentors, it's the people that have made me who I am. And yes, the hunting and fishing is great, but as I got older, I realized it wasn't about that. Once I got about 15, 16, it was more about me spending time with the other kids younger than me and being able to be there for them and do the same thing. Yeah. And I mean, like, the mentors that I had, that's what I wanted to be for those kids, because I know Casey and Mr. Gary especially, man, it's hard.
While you catch your breath, this is an awesome example. Those who are listening right now, hearing from both Cadens here, of just the transformation. I want everybody to understand that CTO just brings the avenue to have the transformation. But I think both of these young men would tell you that the transformation is happening from the Lord himself. And God is just using outfitters, state directors, volunteer guides, apprentice guides, the brotherhood. Brotherhood is a word we use a lot in CTO because there is a brotherhood. I've met both of these guys in past camps, and I'm all the way from Springfield, Missouri. And we hear the stories. Every Tuesday morning we have a national conference call of all the state directors and outfitters and even some of our top volunteers. Really anybody's welcome to be on. And we always go through a devotion and we kind of grow each other, but we always end it usually with fruit stories. And what you're seeing here is two fruit stories of God, giving God the glory. It's not me, it's not CTO. It's not Mr. Casey. It's not anything. It's just God using us to help you in that point in your life. And as you can tell, in both these cases, the Lord has done a big work, and there's a humbleness and appreciation for the people that are a part of your life. And we'd be the first to tell you in CTO, sometimes there's men and women and volunteers that come and go, and there's different seasons of life that everybody is a part of, and everybody plays a role in that. Even though maybe somebody's not here right now, or if another volunteer moves out of town, or whatever it possibly be is, God uses everybody that wants to be involved. And that's what God has obviously done in both of your all's life. So tell me, Caden, I don't want to cut you off, because if you have something else the Lord's telling you to say, I want you to say that. But if not, tell me, like, can you think of your favorite moment? I know you got a bunch. But it's you may have to say 2 or 3. And that's fine if you do. But just tell me some of your favorite moments, unless you got something else you want to share.
So I'll finish off with what I was saying. Like it was the people. Like Mr. Gary Weatrick and Miss Sam and Mr. Andy.
I'm impressed you can pronounce his last name.
I know.
Gary, I never can get your name right.
And then Mr. Casey as well. Like I've called them at the latest hours of the night, and they've always picked up. And they've always been there, and they've showed this is what a godly man is supposed to do, even when he goes through some of the hardest things and doesn't know how to navigate. And God has used them in my life to be able to show me, like, this is what you can do to give back. And seeing those men and the way that they conduct themselves and the way that they treat other people and the way that they live life and live through CTO that has been the biggest thing and made me want to be a part continuously and wanting to maybe take the next step when I am, when the time is right. And like, I mean, I think for me, one of the biggest things is just the memories and the conversations in the blind. I mean, like me and Mr. Gary and even people out of state, Brooks, McDowell, me and him are best friends. And I will say it's like you said, like a brotherhood, a family. I know that I can call any person in CTO that I have met with and I have befriended. I know that I can call them and they will have my back, and they'll be able to, guide me through and talk me through things that I'm going through, or even just talk about life. And I know me and Mr. Gary and me and Mr. Casey have shared many stories and, had many talks in the blind and things like that. And I think that's been one of the, for me, it's not even really about the hunting anymore. It's more, I care more about that than the other aspect of it. And it has been a blessing, and I do appreciate, it, and I don't know really what I'd be without it.
That is awesome.
But
tell me, I mean, we could end right now and we're good, right? With the stories and the testimonies of both of these young men that without CTO being there, and the men that have invested in your lives, who knows where you may be right now, and the decision that you may have made, because life's full of decisions. And people, it's really hard, especially at your all's age sometimes, to understand that a decision you might make when you're 15, 16, 17, 18 years old can affect you your entire life. And we do teach that, and obviously we always want the Lord to come on beside you and for each young boy to understand that there's a God that loves them, and there's a God that never leaves them and never forsakes them, and is always there through the ups and the downs and the good and the bad and the hills and the valleys and all the things in between. And clearly you guys are in the process of doing that. So tell me, Caden, what's your most fun hunting experience? We'll make it a little more lighthearted, because I know we've gotten deep here with some stuff. What's your most favorite hunting experience you can think of?
Man, there's so many, but honestly, I've got 2, and one is for sure when we came on that goose hunt last year. because I had never shot geese before. I've duck hunted for a long time, and that's always been like my passion. But I wanted to goose hunt, and when Casey told me, if you come, we'll be able to do and maybe shoot some geese and stuff like that, I was like, all right, like let's go. And so we actually get trapped up here because of a freeze and a flat tire on a Saturday. All right.
I think I actually remember hearing that story from Casey.
Or actually, no, Sunday morning. And everything was frozen, and they said no tire shops would be able to get to it till Monday. And then Monday turned into Tuesday, and Tuesday turned into Wednesday, and we ended up hunting, I think, 2 or 3 of those days extra.
Oh, wow.
And missed school, so that was
a win all the way
around.
around.
Yeah, and but I remember that one day Mr. Casey had said he'd been trying to get permission from this landowner for a long time, and he couldn't get a hold of him, couldn't find his phone number, and the guy just wouldn't. When he did try to call him, he wouldn't pick up, and so we were sitting down at lunch. And Mr. Casey was like, well, since y'all are staying, let's see if I'll call him and see if he'll answer. And he called him, and he picked up on the first ring. And he told him what he was doing, and he told him he was wanting to take some boys hunting. And the guy said, he said, go for it. And so we went, and we were hunting on this tank dam. And, it was the entire pond, the entire tank was iced over, and it must have had at least 4 to 5 inches of ice because I was walking on top of it, going and getting geese.
Oh, wow.
And so we were sitting on this tank dam, and the dam is about 6 foot tall, so we can sit and just lay like this, and the geese are flying about 20 to 30 feet above us, really close. And so all evening we shot our limited geese, and I remember one goose specifically, I shot it and it soared over my head, and it flew and it hit the ice behind me, and I heard like a big crack. But I didn't think anything of it because there was more geese coming, so I pumped my shotgun and I shot another one.
You were focused.
Yeah, I was focused. And so I go out there and we go to pick it up, and I look, and around that goose there is an 8-foot area, and there's a spider web where he hit the ice so hard he created a spider web that was about 8 foot around. And so I went out there and I picked him up, and I remember seeing that, and I was just shocked because I was standing on the ice and I was fine, but that bird flew and he hit the ice so hard that it made such a big spider web, and we had a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know who's going to watch this, so I don't know what I can and can't say, but I will say it was a lot of fun.
That's probably a good way to stop it right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
what happens in CTO stays in CTO.
Everything was legal. I will say that, but it was a good time.
It better be. That's good.
And then also this past a few weekends ago, Mr. Gary, he asked me to put together a group, and this is not the first time he's done it, but he asked me to put together a group of older men, of older guys, my age, and wanted to take them duck hunting. And so I was able to take my 2 best friends and my brother, and then Mr. Gary was able to bring 2 young men as well to go with us. And so we spent, that weekend duck hunting, and we had a really, really good time. And it wasn't even really the ducks, but it was the fun with the friends and spending time with them and just getting poured into is what was fun. But my one memory about that trip, there was, for those of you who duck hunt, you know what a water swat is, and some people like Mr. Gary think that's a little bit below the level. It's not very it doesn't take very much skill per se. But in this situation,
I'm not a waterfowl guy either, so you might have to explain to everybody what even that is.
So when you water swat a duck, that means the duck came and landed on the water, and you shot him.
Right as he hit, I'm sure.
Yeah, and but me, I have no shame. I will, if a duck is on the water, and he's gonna go. But it was a very challenging one, and so that day it was about a 30-mile-an-hour wind, and so we were like we were getting beat all day, and the ducks wouldn't land, and they weren't wanting to decoy, and they were kind of hiding. So it was a slow day, but we had a group of about 10 pintails just come out of nowhere above us, and then they just like started floating like on a cloud, just coming right down. But as soon as they got over our decoys, they kind of turned and went probably 65 to 70 yards away and landed. And when they landed, me and my little brother were on the end of the blind, and we turned and we're like, all right, on the count of 3, they landed. And, you know, if we would have shot them in the air, we would have missed just because the wind was blowing so hard. But I told him, I was like, on the count of 3, we're both going to shoot and try to shoot one. You know, and I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to hit him. He's 75 yards away. The wind's blowing 30 miles an hour, and I'm shooting a shotgun. It's not going to add up. And it was a huge bull sprig pintail, and he landed, and I picked him out, and I told my brother, I counted 1, 2, 3, and we both shot, and right as I shot, mine got off the water, and he just folded and fell. And Carson, he missed, and I was kind of ragging on him about it, but I can do that. He's my little brother. But then I got Mr. Gary's dog, and I sent his dog, and he went and got it, and I just saw him, and I didn't think it was that far, and then I saw for how long he was running, and I was like, oh my God, he was far.
How far he was.
And he brought him back, and he was just a perfect, like, picture perfect duck. And so as of now, that's got to be one of the most one of the best ones I have at the moment. So
awesome.
It was pretty good.
That is awesome. Well, I'll confess to you guys, because not everybody will probably even believe this. You probably won't even believe me telling you this. I have never been waterfowl hunting in my life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know it. See, I'm waiting. Who's taking me? Who's taking me?
Mr. Gary, we got something to do next
seems
season.
Like, yeah. And see, now they're all going to razz me. I've always been a big game guy, just big game, big game. I call y'all duck freaks.
Yeah.
Or I don't even use the word waterfowl anymore. If there's anybody that wants to go do that when it's 0 degrees and 30, 40 mile an hour winds and ice is everywhere and you're freezing your tail end off, I don't quite grasp that. And you got to leave. I get up early, but I don't getting up at 2 in order to go to get your whole set up and spread set up and all that early, and then goes back and sit in the blind for another hour and a half to just let it get daylight. And then do all the things that you guys do. And I've always been like, man, I don't know if I really want to do that.
It seems like a whole lot of work and a whole lot of suck for very little reward.
Exactly. However, that being said, every guy ever known that has ever left deer hunting or gotten out of that and started doing this, that was why they left. They went and like maybe passed up a deer hunt or passed up something and went and did this instead, and then came back and said, I'm never deer hunting again. Or I'm never turkey hunting again, or whatever. So I've always been a little bit afraid. One, I don't need another habit. And 2, I've always been a little bit like, well, I'm a big game guy. I love pursuing the deer and the elk and the big stuff. Even bears, that kind of thing is my thing that I enjoy doing. Not that I wouldn't enjoy that, shooting your little ducks or whatever, but everybody ever talks about it, loves 100% of it. So, guys, this is great. This is awesome. And what I hope this is for our audience out there as they listen, I hope what you just got a part of, or got to hear and really heard these 2 young men's heart, and also to understand that CTO does provide that moment for that kid. And if you want to come alongside us through donations or having property, or you want to volunteer, or you know a kid that wants to get plugged in, please check us out. You can go to teamcto.org, or you can call us at 866-KID-HUNT, and we'll be happy to get you plugged into the closest chapter that's to you. If you do not have a chapter real close to you, that is something that we're always looking for. That's a big part of my job is spreading CTO across the nation. And if you know somebody who might be interested in stepping up and wanting to become an outfitter for Cross Trail Outfitters in your area, please call that number, or send us an email, or check out our website and get a hold of us, and we will be happy to visit with you and tell you what that looks like and start going through that process, so you can help us provide awesome CTO moments like these two boys have just talked about. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited, guys. That was a great job.
Yes,
I love
sir.
that. You
Thank
motivated me because now we got to get ready and go out here. Casey's got like 50, 60 guns that are out here.
Yeah.
And Casey's got all kinds of awesome stuff happening. And from there, we got a bunch of deer heads coming and mounts coming, and we got 600 plus people coming just in a matter of hours. So Casey's probably right now back there wondering, because these boys came to work and I just stole them for about 30 minutes, and they're probably wondering where in the world, why we aren't out there doing what we're doing. So stay tuned for more examples of what you just heard of hunts and times. I'm excited to bring more of that stuff to you guys. So again, from this day forward, we look forward to seeing you around the campfire, and come back and visit us on Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters. Thank you for listening to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters. CTO is a hunting and fishing club with the mission of guiding the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. If you'd like to support us or are interested in getting involved, visit us on our website at teamcto.org. Links are in the description. Make sure to like and share our podcast. And join us next time around the campfire with Wild Pursuits.